All right, so you finally got a deal under contract. You're really excited. Now what? There's 7 steps, 7 big steps that you need to clear, 7 hurdles that you need to clear before you could really celebrate. So we're going to go through them. The first step is getting a purchase contract signed by both parties. So you want to get the purchase contract signed by the buyer and the seller, okay? Once you have that executed, you go into step 2, which is attorney review. Attorney review is where both attorneys will go over the contract. They'll tweak it a little bit, based on their client's needs. And once both clients and both attorneys are satisfied with the language and the adjustments, you will enter the home inspection period. Now, the home inspection period is where the buyer will get a home inspection, and some buyers aren't really that thorough. Others are really thorough, where they're also, they might need a structural engineer to come to the site. They might do a chimney inspection, a sewer line scope. And based on all those inspections, usually repairs come up and credits will need to be negotiated, or the seller will have to make repairs. Now, while that's going on, you would enter into step 4, which is the appraisal. The appraisal is where the bank comes out. They send a third-party appraiser to determine the value of the property, because ultimately, you got to remember, the bank is the one buying these properties and then giving a mortgage to the buyer. The 5th step, which would be a town inspection. Every town is going to do an inspection on a sale of a home. Now, the length and detail that they will go to do these inspections is going to vary based on the town. Also, if it's a rental property, you might get the town to come out and do a CO inspection, and those could be very burdensome, and usually there's violation lists that are associated with that need to be corrected. Then once you get past all that, step 6 is the mortgage commitment. The mortgage commitment comes from the bank. It's a letter that basically states, hey, we're going to give the buyer a mortgage based on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 getting taken care of. So that would be things like the buyer's going to need insurance. The buyer will need to sign all these documents at closing. The buyer will need to show or explain, where this large deposit came from, things like that. And then step 7 is closing day. Step 7 is actually setting a closing time and day to meet. The buyer will usually meet with their attorney and sign the documents at closing and get keys. Sometimes the sellers are there. A lot of the times they're not. They will have signed the documents beforehand. Some buyers will do a final walkthrough the day of closing to make sure all the issues from the home inspection were corrected, if the seller is going to fix those things, and just do one more overview of the property. So those are all the steps along the way of a contract. You can get hiccups along the way. Unfortunately, sometimes the deals can die, especially during the home inspection period and appraisal period. So don't celebrate too early when you get a deal agreed upon. It's a great first step, but you have to clear all these hurdles, and you have to remember that you have to help your client and hold their hand through the process. You want to make sure you're there for them every step of the way. And obviously, if you ever have questions during any of these periods, you could come to me, you could come to other realtors in the firm, and we will be more than happy to help you. But these are the 7 steps that you need to clear before you close on your first deal.